Hello there, welcome to The Woman in You with me, Zoe Abubeidwado. Now, this is a show that celebrates the extraordinary resilience, strength, and leadership of women everywhere. Now, in a world filled with so many barriers, we are putting a spotlight on the stories of these women who are defying expectations, who are shattering glass ceilings, and who are paving the way for a more inclusive future. This is a journey that we are embarking on in order to honor the remarkable achievements of women who are inspiring change and giving empowerment to each other. It's going to be one story at a time. Stay tuned. I'll introduce my guest shortly. You're welcome back. So my guest today is the founder and CEO of Meannan Foods. Now, this is a company that preserves traditional Ghanaian foods. She's a food processing entrepreneur and she's very passionate about what she does. Her products can be found on the shelves of many major supermarkets. Trust me, I've been following her for a while on social media and she doesn't know this, but I have nicknamed her the Green Woman because she loves her green. Charity Adupong is my guest. You're welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
All right. The Green Woman. I've always wondered why you love green so much, the color green.
I don't know. I think I realized it when one of my friends asked for my opinion in choosing something. I saw the green one. So, oh, and then she turned to the seller whilst I was looking at it and said, well, Charity, is green now. Where can I say green now? Then I realized that, seriously, I've been picking green unconsciously. Then recently I was thinking about it. Well, how did I come to this point? And I realized when I was a child, my dad had a green car. Okay. And my mother's house is painted green. Oh, so wow. I think they both love green. And yeah, I love.
Oh, great. So we want to celebrate women. We are celebrating women on this show. And we want to know more about you. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Swedru, Agona Swedru.
Okay.
Yeah, with my mom and dad for a short time. I lost my dad at 7, and I stayed with my mom and 2 other sisters till I was 9. But I was a very adventurous and hard to tame little girl. So my mother was a businesswoman, and one time when she was traveling, she thought that she would come back to too many reports about me. So she would take me to our pastor's house till she's back. Okay. And when she came back, the stories were different. She's so good. She's so helpful. She's so that. She's
so is it that you were different at home?
Who are you talking about? Is it my Mami Kwai? They said yes. And Pastor said, please let her stay. And she asked me, I said, yeah, I want to stay here. And so I live with our pastor, who is now my dad, for from 9 till I was 21.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I moved to Tema. Yeah.
Okay. Secondary school, basic
education.
I
went to Swedru International School, Swiss, and went to Swiss school.
Oh,
yeah.
Your whole life is in Swedru.
Yes, my whole life is in Swedru. And then whilst waiting to go to the uni, I can sew, but I haven't learned to sew.
Wow. It comes to you naturally?
Yeah, it comes to me naturally. When I was a child, my mother was used to make bride gowns. So I think I picked it from that. But she stopped when I was like 6 or 7. So while sitting at home, I'll just pick my mother's cloth and cut them and make dresses for myself. And so she thought that, oh, just sitting home, then go to the Polytechnic and polish up your fashion talent. But when I was getting in, then she said, no. But Mr. Kumsin said, hey, accounting, I been you. So I went to do accounting, HND in accounting. And then when uni was ready, I thought that I had spent so much time there, so I would rather finish. So I finished, and then I started ACCA to become a chartered accountant. But they failed me 2 papers twice.
The same papers?
The same paper twice. That was costing. And I got discouraged. I thought that changing my little money then to do that would serve me better if I was running some business. So I thought of going to fashion school in Accra, but when I asked around, it was very expensive. And I used to live in Tema. So, no, I live in Tema still. I came here to do national service and I was living in Tema. And the trip Accra and back was going to be too much for me. So I said, okay, I would rather do some business. Already I was doing some buying and selling here and there.
What were you buying? What were you selling?
Oh, I was selling men's shirts. I'll go to Cantamanto at dawn, pick up the best shirts. Then I didn't know much about men's shirts, but I knew that Nest and some other brand, Hughes and Curtis, yeah. If you buy, you are safe, and they were of good quality. So I'll just pick them, come back home, wash them nicely, find a young boy in my area who can iron well to iron. Then I resell to my colleagues, some bankers, and all of that.
So
and I
made a businesswoman.
Yeah, and I made some good money from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I can see that you dress well. So I'm sure you picked it up from there. The fashion is still in you.
Yeah, that's it comes to me naturally. Sometimes I wake up. Well, I can even iron my dresses on Sunday for the week, but I wake up and it's a different feel for me. So I'll just walk into my closet and pick that, and it works for me very well. Yeah.
Wow. So from selling the clothes, from doing the accounting, what else did you do?
Yeah, so then the dream was to make some money and get into fashion proper, have a clothing line or do something. And so the easiest one was food. And naturally, I hate clutter. I can't be in the midst of clutter. So I didn't like the way our market was structured, how food was displayed. So even though my money was
so our
small,
local markets.
Yeah, our local markets. I would rather buy from the store. And so I walked into USAVE in 2005 and was going to buy egusi and beans to make my food for the week. And then I chanced on this one I was buying. I thought the product was good, but the packaging was very poor. And being a natural, fashion creative person, my instincts are always beautiful things. So I thought, this one, I can do it and do it better. So it was just out of the blue. I asked the shop attendant, can I see your manager? And he said, he's down there somewhere. He said, okay, can you take me to him? So I got there and I said, this product I'm buying from you, I can give you a very nice one which fits your shop. And then I was very slim, lucky, like small girl. He just sized me up. He said, go and bring a sample. He thought it won't be anything good. So,
but had you started then when he asked you to bring a sample?
No, but fortunately for me, I was working at Chemical, and I was an accounts person. So I used to work with the people who provide us our labels and all of those, and I'll pay them, make sure batch their invoices and pay. So I came back and spoke to Fidelis and I said, I want to design something, but this is how I want it to look like. He said, come to my office. So I went there, we sat down, and I showed him where I want what to be put and all of that. He designed a very nice, he was the one who designed my logo. At the time. I didn't even know about logo and stuff. And then we did it, and I bought some olonka of everything, sorted them nicely, used my blender at home to do all the blending, and sent it to you. And when you saw it, as an IFL.
Oh, wow.
And I'm a fancy, so when he said, I just broke the ice. So we changed from English to fancy, and we cracked our usual jokes. And then he said, okay, Ochina Brad, I'm found country manager in the office for Port. So that's it. Then I got there. And when he also saw it, he was like, wow, who are you? Who did you say you are? How old are you? I said, I'm 23. He said, I'm going to make you a millionaire. I think that went in and he never came back. So if this thing you see, and he's an he was an old South African white man, can earn me $1 million, then I'm all for this. So he told me he's a busy man, so he'll be calling me late, so I should go and give my boyfriend a notice. And I jokingly said, if he can't deal with this right now, then he has to go. And he then realized that I was serious. So he guided me, go and register your business, do this, do that, go to FDA, go to Standards Authority, and that's how it all started.
So at this point, what was the role of your mom? How did she take it? Because she wanted you to do fashion, and
she wasn't happy with me one bit. She wasn't happy. She wanted, you know, my mother is a very conservative, reserved Christian, proper Christian woman, and she all she wanted for her 3 girls was, we used to live in our grandfather's house, to just live there and get married and live with our husbands. That's all she wanted for us. So she didn't want me to go and struggle in the business world. But one of the days I used to visit her a lot when I came to Tema. One of the weekends I was going to Swedro, and I took some of the products I had made to her. So, oh, what's not a film? Then she said, Mommy, if you are doing this, then you should also think about packaging eggs. Eggs. My first instinct when she said, eggs is very risky. It's very risky, breakages and all of that. I said, she thinks that I can find a good packaging, not the way we sell it, but good packaging to do it. And so I said, okay. When I came to Accra, I started looking for packaging. And on and on and on. I spoke to our production manager at Chemical. He said, EPPL, he has seen something like that from them. So he will get me a number to call. So he gave me the number. I called the gentleman. I said, he's even coming to Chemical. So when he comes, he'll bring some for me to see. So when he brought us, it was 1 box. I just bought the box. And that time, I was learning to play tennis at the Sakumono Tennis Club. So I had made friends there, friends like Nanekia, Kwamse Fakain, and all of those. So Nanekia's father had a supermarket. That's Bachona. Total. Okay. Yeah. So I told her, Nana, can you help me speak to your manager to take up my eggs? I had done the sample already with labels and everything. My mother didn't even think I was going to put labels on them. And she said, our egg supply is not that consistent and reliable, so let's go and see him after tennis today. So we went, and Mr. Mensah, I think, said, when can you supply? It was a big surprise to me.
You've really had some good people come your way.
Yes, I think that when you start, the universe just comes to, support whatever you are doing and put the right people in your way. But also, I would say that then I wasn't married, but I knew my husband, and he was the one who would say, you need to have a social life. You need to connect with people on levels that will give you the room to be able to walk to them without any protocol. So you can learn to play some tennis, you can go and do something that you meet some great people. And I took that advice very seriously. So it just worked for me that way.
And you've spoken about Chemical a lot of times, and how your colleagues, were they very supportive of what you were doing? Because how did you balance the two?
Yeah, then I was very satisfied with doing something very little. But when my mother introduced the eggs and I started, it kept me so busy that I had to be there in the morning, afternoon, and evening. So in the first month that I started, I had to employ someone else. So this is what I did. I moved the business from my house, so say my kitchen, to a small store 5 minutes walk away from my office. so that I can be there early in the morning before I go to work. I use my lunch time to come there and check what's going on. And then in the evening, I can do a little before I go home. So I had this small car. I bought this small car, which I promised myself when I was 18, that by 23, I'll buy myself a car. So I bought the car in a small space of time. And I'll come to work with my shoes. My chemical women used to wear uniforms. So with my uniforms hung and everything, come and work, and then use the public bathrooms, take a shower, and then dress to go to work. And then come back in the afternoon, package small. Sometimes, if I'm able to finish in the morning, I'll go and supply at lunchtime. Then Accra was not this hectic with traffic, so I could just do the motorway in 10 minutes and back to work and all of that. And that's how I did it. My colleagues were very supportive. At this point, I want to really thank Mr. Affo and Charles and Mr. Opari. They really supported me in the beginning. They covered for me a lot.
So my guest today is Charity Adupong, and she has been so far telling us about her journey thus far. When we return, we'll be speaking to her about what the company looks like now. We know she's expanded, but she'll be giving us a fair idea of how many workforce that she has and how she's coping. The current Meannan foods, how does it look like? Are they even able to meet demand? Stay tuned. I'll be interacting with my guests again right after this break. You're welcome back. This is The Woman in You with me, Zoe Abubeidwado. We've been having a conversation with Charity Adupong. She has been telling us about her journey and how she got to get a passion for what she's doing now. So we'll be going to details now as to what she does, what exactly is she selling to the Ghanaian public. You're welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. So I can see a lot of things displayed here. What exactly do you package? What are you preserving? Which Ghanaian foods are you preserving for sale?
Okay, thank you. I'm very passionate about preserving our traditional recipes. My mother tells me when I was a child, she'd give me Cerelac and all those stuff, and I wouldn't eat. But it gave me a benkwa and banko, and I would eat and sleep very well. And my mother introduced me to ekwegbemi, rice water, cocoa when I was growing up. And I realized that when we grew up, all of that was getting out of the way. And so I love it. I keep going back to it. And I thought that many people would still love to eat that. So I'm very passionate about preserving our indigenous recipes in the most traditional way, but with a lot of innovation and making our foods very attractive, not just for us, but for everybody to be able to be attracted to it and want to try it. And that's what I've done. And fortunately for me, my creative juices help me to be able to package them well, nicely, And so I think that's what's carried us in the beginning, because it looked beautiful. First, the person has to be attracted to the food before they want to spend their money on it. Yeah. So that's what I've done, and people have also recommended a lot of the things I do to me. So somebody may buy, say, my pepper powder, which is one of the product I started with. It is very good. It doesn't have the coloring, the usual coloring.
Natural.
And yes. And so, can you do this one too? Can you do ginger for us? Can you do garlic for us? And I was also very fortunate. My first customer was ShopRite. And then it was a small shop in Tama called USafe. Before the mall started coming up and they opened big. So when they were about opening the mall, Johan and Mavis kept saying, can you add this to your line? Can you add that to your line? Can you pack it in this form? And then I'll just do samples for them. And when they like it, we just keep on going. From that, I realized that I had a lot of potential in the food space. And so I had to start learning them professionally. So the Standards Authority and Food Research, CSIR, became my best friends. So I'll go there and find out what I have to do if I want to, say, process cassava into kokunte or fufu. Okay. If I want to do this, how do I go about it? And fortunately, they also have trainings for entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs like myself, that make the costs come down so we can be able to afford it. And through some of these trainings, one day I think I heard on Peace FM about a business plan competition. And then I had also quit my job. All this time, for 11 years, I was running the business and also working as an accountant. So in 2015, I finally said, okay, I think it's time, and I quit. And I heard it and I said, okay, now that I have time, I can take up some of these challenges and see. So I spoke to Kwame, and then he said, oh, I can link you to the lady in charge. He did that.
This Kwame Sapakai?
Yes, he did that. Unfortunately, they were doing a mop-up, so they added me. And I came in the first 3 space. So the first 3 people got £6,000 at the time. Wow. And before then, I had been to South Africa and Nigeria, and I had seen that eggs could be stamped, put a logo or expiration date on them. So that was something I really wanted to do. And so I used the money to get the machine from the Netherlands and then started stamping my eggs. That alone boosted my business from, say, 30 to 90. Everyone had chased before to give me business. Now ran back to me. I didn't have to go and ask anyone to bring me business.
Was it because of the packaging?
Yes. I didn't even know that there were a lot of requirements for people that made, like, airline food, for instance. They should have a stamp on their everything that they buy. So most of them were bringing processed eggs from South Africa, Germany, and all those places. But when I started, wow. and also
all the traffic came to you.
All the traffic came to me, and I think it came in September 2016. And by December, the last quarter of the year, I sold as much as I sold the whole year. Whoa. So that boosted my business a lot. And for a long time, I think I lost my name, Charity. Everybody was calling me Meannan. And people, even my friends, thought that I only package eggs. They didn't know I do all of this. Eggs was such a big thing for me. And so I even tried to go into processing of eggs, into egg whites, and using the egg yolks for lecithin and emulsifiers. And then I went to food and drugs, and they didn't even have standards for eggs then. So I went to standards, we talked, and we found ways of raising money to do the Ghana egg standards. And after that, I was able to register my liquid egg white to process. And so I've come a long way with the processing of food and all of that. Yeah.
Usually people complain about going through the standards and FDA and how difficult it is to sometimes even get your products approved.
Yeah.
What was the process like for you? Was it a smooth one for you?
No, it wasn't. Not at all. Even now, it's not easy. But I think that it's very necessary that they keep the standards and are very strict with it. The FDA has done a lot recently. I think that for small businesses like mine, they reduced some of the charges, the fees, and they were they became very lenient and friendly with the visits and all of that. But once you are making food for someone else to eat, then there should be very strict regulations guiding what you do so that you do not become a nuisance instead of helping people to grow well.
Okay, so from the way you're speaking, it sounds like this is a very huge market for you now.
Yeah.
How many people are you working with currently?
Employees? So now I employ 39 people, including myself. But every now and then I have like 15 to 20 casuals available at the factory working, peeling something. One peeling either cassava or ginger or garlic or something. But I have hundreds of farmers on the fields.
Okay.
This is what I do. I source directly from the farm gates. So I've profiled my farmers and I work with them with their clock. So I know when Auntie Ames is going to be ready, this person is going to be ready, and then we provide a ready market for them so that they can have the peace of mind to concentrate on the farm, and then we take it off, so that we can get the best quality we are looking for and take it off and bring out the best quality of foods. So I have hundreds of them. When it comes to cassava alone, I have about 43 farmers that supply me.
Which regions are we looking at?
Now they are within my district, Dowenya through to Mobole, yeah. And then now a lot of other people are bringing it from the Volta region.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So walk us through the products that you have. I know you've mentioned some currently, but you have some displayed here. If you can walk us through, I can see the Gary.
Yeah.
Okay. And
okay. So I work with women a lot. That's my way of empowering them economically. Okay. I saw my mother's struggles when we were growing up. We used to help her at the shop and all of that. So I feel like a lot of women do so much for their children than the other side. It's arguable, but yes. So I try to support women as much as possible. And when I'm looking for farmers, I look for women first. So
great.
Women,
empowering women.
Yeah, women form about 70% of my supplies. Yeah. So spices, I have 12 different spices: garlic, ginger, onions, mixed spices and all-purpose. And then I have some mixtures like the mixed spice, kelewele is mixed, the curry, and then the very indigenous one like prekese and dawadawa, which are standalones. All of these came as recommendations. So I'm traveling, can you do this as a package for me? And then I begin to realize that people want more and more of it, and so we bring it to mainstream.
You're talking about traveling. Do you export these products?
Oh yeah, we do. We do to Italy and England, and from time to time we get exporters buying from us. We were linked to them by the Ghana Exim Bank through the Tuesday market, and so they come and buy and they export by themselves to the US. Yeah. And then we have some snacks. So I'm a very slow eater, and I like to pick things and eat small. So we have cashews, peanuts, roasted peanuts, and plantain chips with peanuts. not just the plantain chips, yeah. It's a combination. I remember when I was a child, there was a woman who used to roast plantains in front of my grandfather's house. And I would just take some coin from my mother and go to her to buy plantain and peanuts. And my mother is not enough. And she asked me, and I was saying, you know. So it's one of my favorite things. And I thought that doing that combo would be great. And
So
people love it
chips.
a lot. Yes, it's the best selling of all the snacks I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the snacks, you do cashew and this as well, the plantain chips.
Yes,
we do
snacks. We have peanuts and then coconut flakes, which are not here.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when it comes to cassava, which is such a big thing now for me, we do gari from cassava, we do kokonte, we do fufu, high quality cassava flour, and sometimes tapioca. We also do starch for people who process, say, sausage and stuff. Yeah.
All right, so we are talking to the CEO of Meannan Foods, Charity Adupong, and she's walking us through some of the products that she has. This is plantain and peanut chips. She has a wide variety, a wide range of products that she is producing. This is still The Woman in You with me, Zoe Abubeidua. Stay tuned, we'll be bringing you more shortly. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is the Woman in You show. My name is Zoe Abubeidua and I am your host. My guest today is Charity Adupong, or Mami Adupong, or Meannan Foods. If you see her around, you can call her Meannan Foods. She'll respond. And we've been talking about her products and how far she's come. But I want to find out from her if she's even able to meet demand. I mean, the way she's speaking, the way people are rushing and talking to her, do this, do that. Are you able to meet the demand?
No.
No?
No. Recently, like I told you, we did some expansion last year, the last quarter of last year. And I thought, oh, yes, now we have a lot of machines, we have space, we have this, we have that. And it's just not enough anymore within a short time. We are doing a lot. There's so much demand. In fact, COVID taught me to look within. So my whole focus is here. I'm not really focusing on export that much. The export marketers come themselves and then they come and buy, yeah. And there are so many other products on the shelves of Europe and UK that you may not see Meannan, but it's from us. Some people come for wide labeling or we package in their brand names for them, yeah. So no, we are not able to meet demand.
So where can we find your products?
And my products can be found on the shelves of Malcolm, ShopRite, Marina, Palace.
Those are the big supermarkets.
Yeah, Palace, which one again? And some of the Shell shops, some of the Total shops, Goal, some of the Goal shops. And we have agents all over Ghana. Every region, we have 1 or 2 people who also take from us and distribute and
that
retail.
is understandable. You can't meet the demand because I think recently I went to one of the Malcolm shops and saw their Quick Baby there, really packaged well, and some other products. But that's what I went for. Really tastes great.
Thank you.
Just to encourage you to do more. But which of these is your best-selling product?
That's very hard to say, but mostly I put them in groups. So the spice range is just a bestseller. The last time we had a little hiccup in clearing our jazz come from China. We had a little hiccup, and there was a 3-week break in getting it to the stores. I had to put off my phone. This woman called me and she was screaming that her chef says she should buy another brand, and she says no. So I said, okay, then let me package bulk for you. Yes, I'll take the bulk, but please put it on the shelf. My product has to be on the shelf. I said, okay, yes, ma, I'll do that. So at some point I had to put off my phone. Sometimes I wonder how all of this happens, but I think I picked a little from where I work. The only place I've worked in my life, Chemical. They don't make a lot of noise, but they really work hard. they really work and support, pay their taxes well and support the government in so many ways. Yeah.
Listening to you, it sounds all cool, all nice. It's not?
It's not a walk in the park, not at all. The last time I did a promo on Facebook, and one of my friends called me and said, I want to buy the high quality. My children are gluten intolerant, so I want to buy and make some pastries for them. So I delivered myself. And she was surprised. I said, yeah. And I was looking not nice as you see me now. And she said, oh, you do so well. And you share your experiences freely. I said, yes, that's how we should all do it. We shouldn't let it look all glamorous to the ones that are coming after us. Otherwise, with the little challenge, they would want to give up. At this point, some days, I want to throw my hands in the air and say, oh, I won't do again. I won't do, no, I just won't do it again. But you can't stop.
So how do you overcome these challenges?
Oh, I have a very good support from home. My husband is too good. Too good. I mean, sometimes I wonder how he tolerates me so much. And he supports me a lot. He understands when I have to be at work for so long. My children are also very supportive. My mother, oh my goodness. She was the one sourcing for me until she fell ill about 2 years ago. My mother is busy talking to everybody to source for me. And it makes life very, very bearable. And yeah, my friends too, they understand that I'm not snobbish, but I'm just busy. So when I'm available and I say, okay, let's go and hang out.
So do you have a social life at all?
I do, but not as much as I would have loved to. When I'm not able to make it, I make the excuse of adult friendship. we'll meet till then it's 6 months.
So Monday to Friday?
Oh, no, you won't see me anywhere. But I love the church.
Okay.
I'm a church girl. I grew up in the church.
You grew up in a pastor's house?
Yes. And I sang from Sunday school to SU throughout. And even after secondary school, I was singing in the church. Now I don't anymore because I don't have time for rehearsals. I wish I could. So if you go to my personal TikTok, I'm always singing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what keeps me. And I love Tego Sisters. I know each and every one of their songs. I don't know if they have about 200 of them. And I love Kofi Kenata. He encourages me. And yeah, a few others. I grew up on Maranatha music and Hosanna music. So Ron Kinoli, Don Moen, all of those, yeah.
So which is your favorite song?
Through It All.
Through It All.
Through It All.
Just a line.
I've had many tears and sorrows. I've got questions for tomorrow. But there are times I feel so all alone.
Oh.
But in my lonely hours, those precious lonely hours, Jesus let me know I'm not alone.
Wow. Indeed, you're not alone.
Yes.
And you're talking about the great support system that you have. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Maybe too long, 2 years?
I get this question a lot, and I always say that man proposes and God disposes. Whatever is in His purpose for me, that's where I want to be. I want to be a household name. I think gradually, I want to get to the point where when everybody opens their kitchen cabinets or their pantry, they will see a Meannan spice, a Meannan foods product somewhere. That's all I pray for.
Wow. And in terms of local production, would you even speak about where your company is situated or located?
Okay, so our factory is sitting on an acre of land at Afienya Mataheko. It's in the Ningo Prampram district. And here I want to thank the district Agric office for their support of my work and all of that. Through that, I've won the district processor of the year.
Okay.
I think that was in 2019, and in 2022 I won the regional processor of the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really encouraging. You have the support of the local community.
I do, very much, I do. And most of them are my friends, so I have a lot of young people who intern at my place. And even when they go to school and come back, they still come back, like Pamela, like Roland, all of them. And we support all of them. When they are going to school, they get their shito and gari and everything to go with it.
Please, I want to intern.
You're most welcome, but we can't pay you.
No, I'm just learning. So I can go home with all these.
All the goodies.
Oh, it's really been great speaking with you. We didn't speak about the palm oil as well.
Yeah, so for the palm oil, we don't directly do it in our factory, but I have about 13 women in Kade. So I buy the palm fruits for them. Then I have somebody, I used to go there myself, but now I can't.
You are going everywhere.
So
are you a perfectionist? Will you say you're a perfectionist?
I like to start and finish. I don't like to stop along the way. I like to leave my signature. When you come and you see it, you should see that it's Charity who did it. So when I was in school, I came back home and my father, pastor, was not there. Immediately he enters the gate, you know that I've come. Because everything has to be in order. And he would say, Cha! He would start shouting, Cha! Cha! from the gate. How did you know she's here? Because those days there were no telephones to call and know that I'm home. But immediately he gets to the gate, you know I'm back. I'm back home. Yeah.
Wow. So are you doing any collaborations now with maybe other countries? We have Togo, we have Benin, we have Ivory Coast. These are immediate neighbors.
I started from Liberia. Okay. And COVID made it very difficult. I made very good inroads in Liberia. And COVID came and there was no, the borders were closed. So it became difficult to go back. And now I'm trying to get into Nigeria. So I've just come from Abuja and trying to make business, B2B connections with some people, yeah. And I've done a lot from Togo and Benin as well, but that is sourcing, not taking there. When it comes to those places, I think the language barrier makes it a lot more difficult. But it's only difficult, it's not impossible. We'll get there. We'll get there.
What advice do you have for women especially? You are a mother. How have you balanced, say, work and family? How have you done it?
It's a tough one. I was away for 5 days. And when I came, my boys were jumping, mommy, mommy, mommy. I was happy. Okay, so we settled in. But they all know that from about 9 to 10, I have an alone time. I'm either in my closet or in my bedroom somewhere. I have come to realize that there is no award for trying to be a superwoman and doing everything all by yourself. So I asked for help. I raised my children with the society. So the security men at our estate, everybody there is our friend, so that when they see something, they can tell me something. Yeah.
What one thing have you learned from 2005? Was it 2004?
Yeah, 5.
From 2005 till now, what is that one thing that you have really learned along, setting up your company and establishing yourself now? Is there that one thing that has really taught you a lesson, that one thing that you would want to share on advice?
That I can be anything. Whoever I think I am, I can be. I remember my husband sharing some books with me, Trump 101, some nice books. And one of the days we're moving from our house to another place, and I chanced on my old diary, and I'd written the things I want to become, and who I want to marry, what I want to do, wow. How I want him to be. And I said to myself, I didn't know I was that smart at 22, you know. And it's like that. I have been very fortunate. But I have also been very calculated in what I want for myself. What I've learned is that I'm stronger than I think. This business has toughened me. I'm stronger than I think I am.
So how are you coping with your employees, for instance? You spoke about theft. How do you deal with these issues? Because having to change people very often, sometimes
very often, yeah.
it has an impact on the business and how you run things.
As for changing people, I have come to realize there's nothing I can do about it. You have to punish wrongdoing and reward good attitude. So I reward a lot. Sometimes I give extra envelopes, and I let everybody know that I'm giving these 5 people extra envelopes so that you can also back up and do your best. And I build the systems through the mistakes that we make. So if I make a mistake, I see that there's a loophole where people will gang up and steal or do something. Then we strategize and bring a solution. Yeah, we seal that hole so that they can. So all of it won't happen in a day. I had no idea what entrepreneurship is, but I learned a bit from my mother. I learned a bit from my colleagues in industry and all of that. But I'm a talker. I share my problems easily. You follow me, so you know. when I'm having a hard day, you will see it. And when I'm having a good time, you see it, yeah.
So in those low moments, what do? Do you still close yourself, like 9 to 10, as you said, it's a me alone moment in those tough times? Because I think recently you posted about something like that. How are you dealing with these situations?
Oh, I play music, but when I need to shout, I shout. I've realized that when I keep it, then it becomes like a headache. I start to have migraines and all of that. So I shout. I call my employees and I give it to them. And later I go and apologize for maybe shouting too much. And I talk about it. I get home, and if my husband make a mistake of asking me how my day is, he will have it. I will start from when I moved my car from the house till I got home. And he understands. Listen. He's a good listener.
You have a great support system, I must say. And walk us through typically how a day looks like for you when you go to work.
I'm a nocturnal person. I don't sleep early. So I get my sleep in the mornings. And my husband leaves early, so I'm done. I'm up by 6 a.m. and then I go to check on the boys. I've structured my life so that they can be very independent by themselves. I drop them in the morning but they walk home. It's a short distance. So we all get ready together and then we eat our breakfast. We get into the car, I drop them, it's like 5 minutes away, and then I continue to work with my brother. And when I get to work, I park and look around. At my factory or the factory, the janitor, the gardener, and the cleaners are the most important people. So I go and greet them. And I check whether all the places that need to be kept clean are clean, because we provide food for people. If the lawn has to be made, I go through the back and then I say hello to them. Sometimes they will also say, good morning, madam, good morning, good morning. And then I'll walk around and chat and see what we have for the day. Most of the time, the process is going on, but maybe there's a crash order, we have to stop something and do something. So we all deliberate with about 5 people. I do a bit of administrative work from 5 to 6, and I leave the office by 6:30. My office and home is like 30 minutes. Okay. So I get home by 7, and we warm food because we cook over the weekend and keep in the fridge. I help with homework.
Wow, that's a long day. Don't you get tired of the cycle? Because I don't do too well with cycles, having to do the same thing repeatedly.
When children comes in, you have no option. We have a food timetable, we have this timetable, that timetable. So they know. It makes life easier. Without it, then there will be too much
Chaos.
Yeah, chaos.
All right, so back to the products that we have here. So are we sourcing all the products, as in the raw materials, from Ghana? Because, for instance, I know you don't do tomatoes here, but there are times you say that, oh, there's a shortage of tomatoes, we have to get from Burkina Faso, we have to get from... the product, the raw materials that are being produced within your catchment area, is it enough to help you get these things that you produce?
No, we source from all over Ghana. About 90% of the things that we use, raw materials we use, are sourced from Ghana. A few of them come from Nigeria and Togo and Benin. So some of the things, Togo does it better than we do.
Like which one?
Like fish for our shito.
Okay.
They dry it better.
Okay.
And when it comes to shrimps, for instance, they have the best.
Okay.
So you just have to. And when you go to Nigeria, they are good with the grains. So beans, soya, millets, most of them come from that side.
Okay.
But we also source some from here. Sometimes I meet some of my competitors and they say, how are you able to sell this thing in this kind of jar for this price? That's why I go the extra mile. I make sure I buy from the farmer. I won't buy from an intermediary. It makes it very expensive. I buy from the farmer.
So talking about your competitors, I mean, how are you able to, cope with them? What does the market look like?
We work together well a lot. Sometimes when somebody needs, say, gari for export and they don't have enough, they come and buy from me. Sometimes, and we also work such that everybody knows that your strength, even though we are making a lot of product, your strength is in this area. So now a lot of my colleagues know that I'm doing very well with cassava. So they buy a lot of high quality from me. And also ginger. We do very well with ginger, for instance. So most of the people who make spices come and get our dried ginger and then continue the process. Yeah.
All right, so what would be your final words, final advice, especially to women? I mean, listening to you, I'm really encouraged because, wow, you look like a superwoman, even with your cake. What would be your advice?
My little advice is to not disregard small beginnings. I know a lot of women have the desire to want to start something. I'll encourage them to start wherever they are. Don't wait to have an office, to have some space to want to do it. Start from your kitchen, start from your living room. That's how it all started. Every tree you see now started as a seed. Seeds are very small. The biggest seed I know is the mango seed. And even that can fit in my palm. So start small. We all started crawling, walking, before we started to run. So start wherever you are. And the universe will come together to make it work for you.
It's been great speaking to you. Really great. And I'm really encouraged by your progress. And I know that in the next 2 to 5 years, you're going to be a household name as you want.
Yay!
Thank you so much for honoring our invite. Charity Adupong is the CEO of Meannan Foods, and she has walked us through basically what she does, processing local food for export and majority here in Ghana. If you go to many of the supermarkets, the major ones, and some outlets, you see some of her products. So do well to patronize her food or her products. And if you see her anywhere, you can just say hello. And I'm sure she'll be welcoming to you. But this has been the Woman in You show with me, Zoe Abubedu, and it's really been an interesting conversation for me. I do hope that you enjoyed the conversation and you picked 1 or 2 lessons from her story as well. Till then, I'll say bye-bye for now, and we'll catch you up on our next episode. My name is Zoe Abubedu. Many thanks for watching.